Fashion is theatre, fashion is fun.
Drama, controversy, and theatricality.
What we wear each day tells the world who and what we are. Like Alexander McQueen, he started his designs initially as a suit of armour to empower the woman.
I'm Elina Reddy and welcome to Foreign Influence. We're at the National Gallery of Victoria in Melbourne, Australia. And we're here at an exhibition of a fashion house. The fashion house that we would associate drama, controversy and theatricality. Let me present you Alexander McQueen. Today I've got a companion with me, Tamarra Mc Naught from Tito Style. Tamarra is a fashion and celebrity stylist. Tamarra, thank you so much for being a part of our show today.
Elena, thank you. I am so excited to be here today at the National Gallery Victoria for the Alexander McQueen launch.
Tamarra, what do you think is the most unique about Alexander McQueen?
Goodness, Alexander McQueen, well, he's extraordinary, he's significant, and he's going to be noted, in my opinion, throughout history as being a pure genius and visionary. He's of the same calibre of various other artists such as Tchaikovsky, Salvador Dali, Monet, and in most recent times, designers like Coco Chanel. And now we have Alexander McQueen.
You just speaking about all of this so poetically. I'm sure our audience are loving listening to you. Tamarra, what would be a typical person that would wear the brand Alexander McQueen?
Oh goodness, I think Alexander McQueen, when he first started designing, he was known as Lee. His name then transitioned into Alexander McQueen. The customer, I think, is still the same as it was then. It's someone that is artistic, they're strong, they're confident, they're passionate, they like to make a statement, they love avant-garde, they're creative, they want to make a difference.
Lady Gaga wore the armadillo shoes that we can see in the background there. Could you please tell us, our audience, the collaboration behind that?
Absolutely. Well, bit of a funny one here. I actually reached out to Lady Gaga this last week, only via Instagram.
Amazing.
Look, it was only via Instagram. I must say I did curate quite a lengthy DM. Unfortunately, she does have over 50 million followers, so regrettably I didn't get a response. However, I was fortunate enough this last week to head out to Chadstone, the fashion capital, here in Melbourne, to Australia's only Alexander McQueen store at this stage, their flagship store, and had a beautiful conversation with Tony, the manager, and Harvey, one of the most passionate, beautiful employees. Here I got some great insights. So it was quite a small community as it was back then in the fashion landscape. Alexander McQueen was picked up by Isabella Blow, who was the then editor of British Vogue, through Anna Wintour, who was with Lady Gaga. The introduction was made, and my goodness, what an epic collaboration. The shoes that he made for her video film clip, Bad Romance, they were 30 centimetres high.
She was so brave to wear them.
Well, I actually read this last week, apparently some of the models didn't want to walk in that last 2009 runway because they were 30 centimetres high. And there was such a limited number made, and unfortunately McQueen did pass in 2010 and immediately they became collector's items. And yes, I learnt that Lady Gaga's partner at the time actually bought back several pairs of the shoes that were actually made just for her. And there's one pair in Bond Street in London at Alexander McQueen. And I must say I'm a little bit excited, hoping that we may spot a pair here today at NGV.
With us. She's the curator of National Gallery of Victoria. Daniela, we have $1 billion question for you. Tamarra could not get in touch with Lady Gaga, and we wanted to know a bit more about Armadillo shoes, the collaboration with Alexander McQueen.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a very good question, and you've really identified one of those iconic designs by Alexander McQueen, the Armadillo shoes for the Plato's Atlantis collection of 2010. And I have to say that all of the known examples of those shoes really are in the wardrobes of Daphne Guinness and Lady Gaga. And so what we have in the exhibition are commissioned shoes and headpieces by LA designer Michael Schmidt that pay homage to those incredible silhouettes and take inspiration from McQueen's work.
Thank you so much for sorting that out for us. What is the most exciting piece in this exhibition that you think?
Oh, I think there are so many works that could answer that one question. We have examples of his really subversive, provocative designs from the 1990s. We have works from collections like Widows of Culloden, which speak to McQueen's ancestry, and we have great examples like the ones behind us from the collection In Memory of Elizabeth Howe, which feature this exquisite hand-beaded sort of tresses of hair down the length of these extraordinary black velvet gowns. This is one of those exhibitions where you really deep dive into the world and imagination of Alexander McQueen. You get to see the fashion, you get to see the extraordinary visual references he drew upon in the artworks on display, and you get to see that masterful, tailoring and dressmaking that really he was so well known for.
has been a lot of anticipation on our behalf to be here, and Tamarra, being the stylist, she arranged all these outfits for us. How did you come up with this idea?
As a fashion stylist, my brand Tito Style really is all about supporting and promoting Australian businesses and brands that really also do have a strong focus on sustainability. So I've been so lucky, or we have been, to collaborate today with, I have a beautiful Stephanie Brown based in South Yarra, crown, which is very Tito style, and earrings. We both have beautiful jewellery.
The jewellery is absolutely exquisite. I mean, just look at my earrings.
I know, it's a bit special from Franco Jewellers in Collins Street.
And the pendant.
And then we're both wearing a beautiful designer called Mastani, which is based in High Street, Armidale. I wanted to style us today with a bit of a McQueen vibe to pay homage to what he was all about. And finally, I have my gorgeous bling bling shoes, because Tito loves her bling, from Dolce Ferme, which is one of Australia's most beautiful shoe designers.
Tamarra, let's talk a little bit about you. How did you get into styling?
That's a fantastic question. My passion for fashion began at the tender age of 3. I started studying classical ballet, which turned into 6 days a week over the next 11 years. I studied all genres of dance and was actually a finalist for the Junior Australian Ballet.
That's a huge achievement.
Thank you, thank you. My family were on a bit of a budget, so my mum initially, and then myself, had to get a bit creative and inventive with curating the endless costumes that I had to wear for competitions and performances. This then filtered through into my teenage years. I'd save my pennies all year, get to the Boxing Day of sales and head down Chapel Street, which was iconic. I won't tell you how old I am, but back then. And I would go in and out of every shop trying things on. This was pre-mobile phones, so I couldn't do any selfies, but I'd write a little list and how much each garment cost. And then I'd go out and have a hot chocolate and reassess what ultimately I could mix and match and get longevity out of. When I finished school, I then started working in the fashion landscape, which I have done so for the last 2 decades. I've worked in every aspect of fashion, from marketing, buying, wholesaling, to now being a fashion stylist. The last 2 years I've set up Tito Style, and I suppose my vision is to make people feel the best version of themselves every single day, no matter what they're going through. What we wear each day tells the world who and what we are. Like Alexander McQueen, he started his designs initially as a suit of armour to empower the woman. And that's what I want to do with my clients. I want them, no matter what they're going through, to feel the best version of themselves. Because people, it's pretty scary, actually make their first initial impression of you within less than 3 seconds of meeting you. So what you put on each day tells the world who you are.
Yeah, you definitely armor yourself with the clothes that you wear, and if you like what you wear and it reflects your personality, then you feel like you're ready to face the world and face any challenges of the day.
Absolutely, and I suppose I have a bit of a tagline: I want my clients to sparkle and shine.
Tamarra, what do you love the most about styling?
Look, no 2 weeks are the same. We're here at NGV on a Friday morning, and look at us. Fashion is theatre, fashion is fun, and it's something you should enjoy doing each day. I've been so fortunate this year to have had such an incredible journey. I started off working at Melbourne Fashion Festival for Marie Claire and Samsung Galaxy Runway. Since then, I've done endless editorial and commercial campaigns, as well as so many beautiful personal clients, which is what I find really rewarding. And most recently, I actually worked at Melbourne Fashion Week.
I love Melbourne Fashion Week. Did you get to meet new designers, up and coming?
Absolutely. It was an incredible 2 weeks, and we were so fortunate, obviously, being part of the journey. A lot of people don't understand runway. They think it goes for 20, 30 minutes, they turn up, they enjoy the show, and that's it. The amount of work that goes on in the lead up is incredible. And what I love so much, particularly about Melbourne Fashion Week, it was all Australian, which I think, as I mentioned earlier, is the ethos behind my brand, Tito Style.
It's so important that Australian designers get acknowledged and they are presenting themselves and the world is watching them.
Absolutely, and it's something that I've really noticed this year in Australia. There's been a big shift and movement. There's a huge representation and acknowledgement now of First Nation and Indigenous designers, and also on the runway itself. There's representation of real people. We have plus size, First Nations, people with disability. It's no longer the size 6, size 8, 6-foot models going down the runway. So
something like people that can relate to. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm just an Aussie girl. I'm a normal person. I don't normally wear a crown on a Friday morning or Friday.
You don't? You mean like you don't wake up like this?
Oh, no. You know, sometimes I do have a headband as a bit of a statement. But look, I think it's really about encompassing and celebrating me, the real person, the real Aussie.
If I open up my eyes, I can see the skies. I can see the sky. See the sky. See the sky.
Tamarra, what trends do you see emerging in fashion?
Well, there's been a huge shift over the last couple of years as a result of the pandemic, which I actually think it's quite an exciting opportunity. We all lived in our leisure active wear for far too long, but this year, Melbourne, Australia has really come to life, which has just been so exciting. Colour has been everywhere. Red, hot pink, emerald green, purple, lilac. People are colour blocking, and I think moving forward there's going to be a big shift into gender neutral attire. So we're not specifically doing the norm of male and female. I personally though, with my styling clients, I don't like to follow trends. I never have. I like to do my own thing. I like to understand my clients, who they are, what they do, what they represent, so I can curate a wardrobe that has longevity and that they can then mix and match and really get into the understanding of who they are as a person and put together outfits and wardrobes that represent them. Even if it comes to something like, say, Spring Carnival, a gala, something very important that you may be celebrating, I want you to invest in something that you'll wear again and that you can mix and match back, not a one-off thing from that sustainable point of view.
So basically just do you.
Exactly. Yeah. I have a thing, be true, be you.
with us. What was your most exciting project so far?
If I may, I've actually got a few responses. Probably one of the first big projects that really gave me that oh my goodness moment. I was fortunate enough to work for a client, Colin's Coffee House here in Melbourne. Who doesn't love a high tea, right? They do the best high teas in Melbourne. They actually collaborated with Melbourne Fashion Week, and Colin's Coffee House did a tribute to Bridgerton.
They've got such a great decor to fit in with that theme.
Absolutely.
That wooden paneling.
And as the creative director, I was so fortunate to be given free rein to do my modern day twist on the Bridgerton theme. And it was when I was on set that moment, I was able to source some of Australia's best couture designers, jewellers, and when we had the three of them on set and started, I just went, my goodness, this is happening.
I have heard and have seen footage because our own foreign influencers, amazing videographer, Julia Sprenger, she was filming that shoot for you.
She actually was. Julia is someone and a force to be reckoned with, and is definitely someone to watch within her space. So it was an honour to work with her that day, and I've worked with her several times since. The second most exciting, I'll say, win or project actually happened this last week. Through the Australian Style Institute, I was nominated as one of 3 finalists from across Australia for Stylist of the Year.
Bravo! Bravo! So proud of you.
Thank you
that is
so
incredible.
much. I know, it really, as I said earlier, where your heart and passions lies, success will always come, and I have not stopped this year, and I'm getting goosebumps even saying this. The third most exciting thing or project I've worked on is being here with you. This is a dream at Alexander McQueen.
So special.
It really is. I know growing up, my version of Christmas Day was actually fashion related. Here in Australia, just before Christmas, the Victoria's Secret fashion runway used to get released. I always recorded it. Probably when I was a bit younger, I'd have a hot chocolate. In later years, I'd have a glass of champagne. And I think they probably actually drew from Alexander McQueen with their vision. It wasn't your traditional runway where models just walked down the catwalk doing their thing. It was theatre, it was production, there was music. It just was so elaborate, and I think obviously that's what we love about Alexander McQueen, but then Victoria's Secret. And as I said, being here today, when we walked in, I actually almost cried. It's just one of those moments, so thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an honour to have you on our show. And National Gallery of Victoria, they do everything so well. They put so much thought into every single detail, element to showcase the curator's capsule of Alexander McQueen Fashion House, the legacy.
Absolutely, iconic in history.